In order to understand the thoughts of anyone, it's essential to master 3 techniques. These methods are crucial for effortlessly discerning and grasping what others are pondering. Let me share a Buddhist story that imparts the wisdom of reading others' minds. In a small village, a long time ago, there lived 2 brothers. The elder brother was blind and spent most of his time at home, while the younger brother worked as a farmer. Their farm, however, was constantly ravaged by animals. Troubled by this, the younger brother devised a solution. He thought, why not ask my blind brother to help scare away the animals in the fields? He could sit in the field and shout if he heard any animal sounds, thus protecting their crops. After considering this idea, the younger brother built a small hut in the field and placed his elder brother inside. He explained, "Brother, if you hear any animal sounds, just shout to scare them away. This will save our crops." The elder brother agreed and began sitting in the field, shouting whenever he heard animals, effectively scaring them away. This practice continued for many days. One day, a deer broke the fence and ran through the field. Shortly after, a king pursuing the deer arrived. The king noticed the blind brother and asked, "Have you seen a deer here?" The blind brother replied, "Your Majesty, I am blind. How can I see a deer? However, I can tell you that the animal that left my field is not worth chasing. You are wasting your time." The king, astonished by his words, questioned how he knew this. The king asked if the blind brother was lying, as he claimed to be blind but spoke about the deer's worthiness. In response, the blind brother stated, "Your Majesty, the animal you believe to be a deer is actually a pregnant doe. I have never heard of a king hunting a pregnant doe, so I am telling you that she is not worth your pursuit. You should not waste your time chasing her." The king, intrigued and skeptical, decided to verify this and instructed his commander, "I want that animal alive. I need to confirm whether it is indeed a pregnant doe." The commander carried out the king's orders and soon returned, confirming that the blind brother was correct, the doe was pregnant. The king, filled with wonder, couldn't comprehend how the blind person knew about the doe's pregnancy. He had many questions and decided to ask the blind brother directly. "Look, I may not know whether you are truly blind or not, but I have come to ask you one thing. Will you give me the correct answer to my question?" the king inquired. The blind brother responded, "Your Majesty, you can ask me anything, and I will answer truthfully." The king said, "You are a wise man and seem to have a keen understanding of many things. Today, I want to know if my wife is faithful to me or not." The blind brother replied, "Your Majesty, what kind of question is this? Your marriage has lasted for many years, and now you question such things? Why do these doubts arise in your mind?" However, the king insisted, "You must answer this question. If you do not, I will punish you with the death penalty." Hearing the king's threat, the blind brother said, "Your Majesty, if you want the answer, you must do me a favor." The king asked, "What do I need to do?" The blind brother responded, "You will have to leave your wife alone with me in a room." The king, initially angry, eventually agreed and ordered his commander to leave the blind brother and the queen alone in a room. Inside the room, the blind brother expressed his desire to touch the queen. The queen, furious, began beating him with her hands and feet. After enduring the beating, the blind brother managed to escape and went to the king. He told the king, "Your Majesty, your wife is unfaithful." The king, enraged, drew his sword and confronted the queen, warning her that any falsehood would lead to her execution. The queen, cornered, confessed, "Your Majesty, you may as well kill me, but I am not faithful." The king, overjoyed by the blind brother's accuracy, immediately asked, "How did you know that my wife is unfaithful?" The blind man replied, "Your Majesty, it is quite simple. When I told your wife that I wanted to touch her, she became so enraged that she started beating me. She could have refused, but instead, she touched my entire body while beating me. Now you tell me, how can such a woman be faithful?" The king, recognizing the blind brother's wisdom, said, "You are indeed wise. Answer one more question correctly, and I will let you go." The king then asked, "Tell me, am I truly my father's son or someone else's?" The blind brother responded, "Your Majesty, why do you bother with this question? No matter who your parents are, you are the king of this state. Let this question go." But the king insisted, "No, I want the exact answer to this question. Otherwise, it will always bother me." The blind brother replied, "Your Majesty, I can tell you right now whose child you are, but you must promise not to get angry." The king said, "I promise, I won't get angry." The blind brother then said, "You are indeed your father's son, but you are also under the shadow of a miserly merchant." The king rushed to his mother and demanded, "Mother, tell me the truth. Am I truly my father's son or someone else's? If you don't tell me the truth, I will give up my life right here." The king's mother confessed, "Son, you are indeed your father's child, but you are also under the shadow of a miserly merchant." Delighted by the confirmation, the king returned to the blind brother and asked, "How did you know that the shadow of a miserly merchant was on me?" The blind man replied, "Your Majesty, you asked me many questions, and I gave you the correct answers to all of them. If you were any other king, I would have received many rewards by now, but you haven't given me a single penny so far. From this, I deduced that you are very stingy." The king burst into laughter and said, "Whatever you ask for, I will give it to you. But tell me, how do you know what is right and what is wrong? How can you provide such accurate and precise answers?" The blind brother explained, "Your Majesty, I am blind by nature. If I had eyes, I could easily understand anyone's thoughts. The mind has its language, and this language can be seen in the actions of a person's body. By observing a person's eyes, lips, and the way they move, one can understand what is going on in their mind. But since I am blind, I perceive through actions. If I want to know something, I assign a task to the person and observe how they perform it. Based on their actions, I can understand what is going on in their mind." The king asked, "So does that mean I can also know someone's thoughts?" The blind brother replied, "Certainly, you too can understand anyone's thoughts. But first, you need to calm your mind and bring it into the present. For that, I will tell you 3 ways, which are very easy and simple." The blind brother continued, "Your Majesty, you must focus your mind. When we focus our mind and bring it into the present, we can understand others' thoughts because they are thinking in the present. We must also be in the present to understand their thoughts. If we are preoccupied with past events, we won't know what the other person is thinking in the present. So, the first step is to focus your mind and bring it into the present." "Now, let me tell you the 3 ways to understand anyone's thoughts," the blind brother said. The first method is to pay attention to the eyes. When we talk to someone, we should look them in the eyes because eyes don't speak, but they say a lot. If we learn to understand the signals in a person's eyes, we can know what they are thinking and what they are about to do. The blind brother continued, "Even though I don't have eyes, I learned this skill from the revered Gautama Buddha many years ago. He was my teacher and guide. I used to have eyes back then and could understand people's thoughts solely through their eyes. If you want to know the thoughts of others, you should focus on their eyes, where they are looking and in what direction. If their eyes wander here and there when you're talking to them, it means they are searching for a way to escape the conversation, and they might be lying. If the person avoids direct eye contact, they are afraid their lie might be exposed. But if their eyes look at you without moving, they are probably honest and interested. They want to talk to you and share their thoughts. Also, observe their eyebrows. If their eyebrows go down while they look away, they might be thinking hard or worried about something. If their eyebrows go up and their eyes get big, they might be surprised or curious about what you say. Notice how big or small their pupils are. If the pupils get bigger, it means they like you or what you say, they are excited or happy. If the pupils get smaller, it means they don't like you or what you say, they are uncomfortable or angry. Additionally, look at the white part of the eye, called the sclera. If the sclera is red, it means they are tired, stressed, or sick, they might not want to talk to you. The blind brother shared an example. I remember a time when I met a tired traveler. His eyes looked around a lot, never focusing on me. This showed that he was worried and wanted to leave quickly. I suspected he was hiding something. When I asked him more questions, I found out he had a secret plan. The blind brother explained further, facial expressions can also help us understand a person's thoughts. Sometimes a person exhibits different behaviors through their face. By paying attention to their facial expressions, you can determine if the person is disappointed, very sad, or extremely happy. You can also figure out what they are feeling inside. The face is like a picture that shows what people are feeling inside, even if they don't say anything. If you want to understand people better, you have to pay attention to these silent signs. When you see someone whose mouth turns down at the sides, making a small sad face, it usually means they are unhappy, not pleased, or have lost something. A big and real smile, one that makes the eyes and cheeks go up, is a sign of happiness, friendliness, and kindness. The eyes are very important in this. When they get small and shiny, you can be sure the smile is real. Look at the space between a person's eyebrows where the skin wrinkles. When it gets deeper and tighter, it often means they are confused, thinking hard, or trying to understand something difficult or new. The way the mouth is can tell you a lot. A mouth that is closed and squeezed may mean they don't agree, don't like something, or don't want to talk. But a mouth that is open and relaxed means they are open, comfortable, and ready to talk. As you get better at seeing and understanding these signs on the face, you'll be able to know what people are thinking and feeling inside, whether they say their feelings out loud or keep quiet. Their faces will show you what's in their heart. The blind brother continued with another example. One time, I met a sad person who came to me for help but acted like they didn't care. I saw a small line on their forehead, showing they had a problem. I asked them to tell me their problem, and they did. They felt better after that, and I helped them. A real smile makes the eyes happy too. It means they are glad and kind. A frown makes the eyebrows go down. It means they are worried or confused. The eyebrows go up when they are surprised or curious. You can tell how they feel by looking at their face. The blind brother then told the king about the third method. Your Majesty, the third language is gestures and body language. To understand a person's thoughts, we need to understand hand gestures and body language. When a person speaks, they keep moving their hands and making gestures. Their body language plays a significant role in conveying what they are thinking. The body and the hands can say a lot of things without words. It is like a secret way of talking where you can see what people want and feel by the small things they do. For instance, when someone taps their fingers fast while talking to you, it may mean they are bored, in a hurry, or want to end the conversation soon. I remember a time when I met a person who wanted to sell me something and did this sign. I knew he was nervous, so I made him give me a better price, and he was surprised. Also, when someone crosses their arms, they might not like you or what you say. They are hiding their thoughts from you. This way of holding their arms is like a wall keeping their thoughts and feelings safe. By seeing this sign, you can be nice and careful when you talk to them and make them feel more comfortable and open. When someone leans forward, they might be interested in you or what you say. They are listening carefully. This means they are interested and want to hear more. This way of moving their body shows they want to listen, learn, and understand what you are saying. I once met a smart teacher who did this. He was very calm but leaned in with interest, showing he wanted to know more about the topic. Sometimes people touch their faces a lot when they talk to you. This often means they are worried, thinking hard, or having a big idea. These small touches show what is going on in their mind and heart. To be good at understanding others by their body and hands, you have to be patient, watch carefully, and appreciate the things they don't say. These small but important signs are like a quiet book, showing you the feelings and thoughts hidden inside them and letting you connect with them better. If we pay attention to these 3 methods and understand them correctly, we can quickly know what's going on in a person's mind, how much attention they are giving to our words, and what's happening in their mind. However, first, you have to focus your mind and bring it into the present. Only then can you pay attention to all these actions, understand them, and realize what's going on in the person's mind. If you are preoccupied with past events or plans, you will never pay attention to the person's body language and will never understand what they are thinking. You may have seen many great saints and enlightened beings who look at you with great calm and can tell you what's going on in your mind and what you have come to learn from them. The biggest reason for this is that they can read you and understand you because their mind is focused and peaceful, allowing them to easily understand your thoughts. As we conclude this journey of Zen wisdom, Wisdom Insights Path team expresses our deepest gratitude for your incredible support. Remember, knowledge has the power to elevate your life.